them at the highest potential for those upsets, but they still could do it.
Yeah, and we are going to see two teams we've seen before in the next round of games. Is going to be Lowpander versus Lego. And we saw Lowpander win their first game 4-2. We just saw Lego win 3-0. So we've seen both of these teams so far today. So we've got experience on how they've been doing on this Saturday afternoon. How are you feeling about this matchup? Who do you think has the edge going into round 3?
I think this could be really, really close. Both of these teams have a little bit of experience against each other from previous ETF 12 seasons. So they know in general some of the stuff that they do, but obviously it's been a little bit since then, and everything can happen, especially with a team like Lowpander and with how LEGO has been playing today, just super aggressive as well. So this could go either way, I would say.
I think it's going to be really interesting what map is going to be played. Obviously, we aren't privy to the map picks just yet. But yeah, I think Lowpander looked very strong in their first game, and then they did drop a couple of rounds, but I think maybe concentration was lapsing for a moment. I'm not sure. On Lego as well, I think once you get into that mindset of being a few rounds up, you relax a little bit, and there isn't really that urgency. So it's going to be interesting to see these two teams come up against each other, and if rounds are being traded, how that's going to affect the mentality of these teams who first 2 rounds have seemed pretty comfortable so far.
Yeah, each of these teams have been respectively mostly in control for both of their games so far. And I do believe this will change now for this game, as they are teams with high potential to make the prize pool cut. So
definitely
should be very interesting. I am interested to see how a potential sniper battle between whoever wants to pick up the sniper rifle on Lowpander versus Demo will end up going.
Yeah, like we said, Demo's pretty much the only man on Lego who's likely to go sniper. So, you'd see the double scout sniper scenario, although we do know Zen is very capable on both scout and soldier. So if they wish, they could switch him off to soldier. Again, it depends on the map they're going to be playing. But yeah, Lowpander is kind of like a toss of the coin, isn't it? Do you go with Mookie or do you go with Mr. Epic? The perennial off-classer or the sniper god, as we've seen him in so many games in Prem over the past few seasons. So that's going to be interesting. Like I said, a Viaduct game, I'd expect to see Mr. Epic on the sniper, get the Ubers on the scout class, but then any other map, I guess probably Mookie will be the guy to off class.
Yeah, he's very much known for that, and he's not afraid of playing at whatever class he needs to win a game, or potentially not, but then he still played the class. You can be happy about that.
I mean, I think it's the Roma kind of thing. You see both of these Romas, you got Mookie and Demo, both of them just itching to get on to play a different class. They bomb in for a pick, and it's like, okay, I died. I'm going to switch to, Pyro now. I'm going to switch to Sniper. Just want to play something different.
Yeah, and every once in a while they do come up with some genius strats along the way. We saw them experience with banners today. They are pretty much known to do that a lot, not just Mookie, but Ubers as well. And that's something they like to do. I think last game it didn't have as much of an impact as it used to do in the past for them. But if they do manage to pull some out successfully with the banners, then I'd not be surprised. They have a lot of experience with those. So does Lego, but historically it's been Josh who has been using the banners for them, and to a great effect as well. But without him playing currently, it's quite a different story.
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to say that. Like, the players remaining in Lego seem very, not vanilla, but very kind of, they don't like to use the banners. And it was always Josh who very effectively using those banners and really causing havoc with his choice of banner to use. And with him now on Ascent, I feel that, yeah, there's not really anyone who's going to really pick up that mantle for Lego anymore. Maybe it would have to fall down to Phil to do that, but he seems to be just happy running the gombots and being aggressive and allowing Domo and his scouts to take the heals. Whereas we've seen in the previous game, Mookie and Ubers like to run those banners in tandem. And if you get one of each, then it can really be even more effective than an Uber. You take less damage and you get health back, stuff like that. I mean, I was just taking a look at the last time these two teams played in ETF Duel. This is back sort of it's the upper bracket first round, so upper bracket semi-final of season 28, and Lego won that. I think that was a surprise for a lot of people, but I think at that point Lowpander had really lost motivation. And yeah, Lowpander won the first map on a golden cap, but the next two went quite closely to Lego. When you take a look at the Lego lineup, then they did have Josh. I think they had Drac playing as a Merc roamer. We had a couple of Mercs on Lowpander, so it's kind of hard to say if they want to settle the score or something like that. But it's similar teams, but some changes.
Yeah, and with quite a bit on the line, maybe not today as it's just the group stages, but if they do meet up in the playoffs against each other, this will be a very interesting close matchup, I am fairly sure. Unless Lowpander's shenanigans manage to get into the heads of the LEGO players, in which case this could go very quickly.
Absolutely. Like, I think this group stage, I think for teams like this, no disrespect to other teams that we've seen, the likes of Seven and Lego and Ascent, they will be fully expecting to get into the next round. They will not be looking at it and thinking we're going to lose the majority of our matches today because of the way that the Swiss system works. They'll be quite comfortable to be coming back. Opportunity for the teams to test each other out, and for these two teams who could be playing against each other, so a chance for them to see, okay, what map are we playing? And if one of these teams gets rolled, they'll be like, okay, we're not going to play that map tomorrow in the best of threes if we come up against each other. So yeah, it's kind of testing each other and seeing what happens. But like you said, these guys have been around the block many, many times. They know each other inside out already. So maybe that's not really too applicable here, but it'll be interesting to see. It does look like, don't want to get hyped up here, Dumb. I don't want to get you too hyped, but it does look like Cookie is now available.
Ooh, that's interesting. Crayon has been doing pretty well, so it's not like they gain or lose much, if at all, but or at least in raw talent that is. But in terms of knowing how to play around the rest of the team, it will definitely be a slight improvement again to have a main player back with Cookie. So yeah, that should help LEGO already a little bit more than they had been going for them before.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Crayon, we saw, well, looks like we're playing Gullywash, actually. Nobody is sharing the picks and bans, or at least just the bans. But yeah, we saw Crayon doing very, very well on Gullywash in the first game of the day against my son's basketball team, playing on the sniper for nearly 10 minutes and getting some decent picks there, especially onto the medic. So we'll see if Cookie's going to be the man to do that this time around. Or whether it's going to be Mookie or Mr. Epic to pick up that rifle and take some shots at the medic. But yeah, I mean, Gullywash experience for Lowpander on this map already today. Both teams actually played Process as their second map, so maybe Lowpander a little bit more warmed up for Gullywash than Lego are.
Yeah, and whatever way it will go in the end, Gullywash notoriously very demo favoring map, which can help out both players, in this case Hildreth and Domo, both very much capable demo men. I think Domo is probably a little bit higher rated than Hildreth, but Hildreth is a little bit of the brain behind Lowpander for a lot of things. So yeah, this should be interesting. And mids as well often come down to just what the soldiers are doing and how each team can react to these sort of things. And we've seen Mookie before with some really good stuff on the mid fights on Soldier as well on the first match of this day. So it will be interesting how these different classes on these teams stack up to each other.
Yeah, we saw him going really, really deep in the first mid, just getting straight onto the demo, taking him out. And then after that, the next couple of mids was a case of going high, proving to be a distraction. And then after that, he just went sniper to mid. So there really is no guessing on what he's going to be doing, what class he's going to turn up to, whether it's going to be soldier or sniper. That's generally, I don't think we're going to see any flex shenanigans coming out of them here, but whether it's going to be soldier or sniper really depends on how you're going to counter that. Do you go aggressive? Do you send somebody into big door to deal with that sniper? Or do you play passive and wait for that bomb and try to deal with that first? So it's going to be an interesting way. I don't think Lego are going to be doing anything like that unless Demol decides to go sniper to mid, which, like we saw earlier, he isn't opposed to going sniper and trying to get a pick that way. So it's going to be very interesting to see. But we are getting the players in the server. We have 6 in already for Lowpander, and we have 4 in from Lego. So just waiting for the last couple. So this is, for those of you just joining us, this is the EU monthly number 2 from Essentials.TF. It's sponsored by Demos.TF and STN Trading. Go and check out the link at the bottom of the stream for trading help, buying and selling your TF2 items. And they've given us a nice prize pool, which will be decided tomorrow. This is merely the group stage, a Swiss system to decide who will reach the playoffs on Sunday. And then we'll find out the top 4 teams, which will be receiving some of that share of the pot. And of course, the number 1 team, which will be getting the biggest share. This is round number 3. So far today, we've seen some strong results from the teams expected to do well. But we have 2 teams here who I think it's probably going to be the closest match we've seen so far.
Yeah, very likely to be the case. Both of these teams at the highest peak have been contenders to win ETF Duel Prem, and it's been a while since then. Both teams with close to their original lineups from back in the day meeting up against each other here in the group stages, and this could very much be an indicator of how these teams will do tomorrow in the playoffs.
Definitely. I mean, these 2 teams, they're very similar at the moment because they're both teams that have been there or thereabouts in Prem knockout stages. And, Lego reached a Prem final, I believe, I want to say a few seasons ago, if my memory serves. And Lowpander obviously have been there as well. They reached the Sweden LAN ESU Rumble final. They finished 3rd at I-Series. And they're both kind of taking a bit of a chill off season, playing in Div 1 and Div 2, just kind of not trying too hard. So maybe that's kept them fresh for the upcoming matches. But of course, this is the Lego LAN roster. Shout out to the Copenhagen Games, where there'll be, of course, TF2. 2 different game modes, Sixes and Highlander will be there. Essentials will be covering the Sixes tournament. And there is a nice €3,000 prize pool there. And this is the Lego LAN roster. So these guys are warming up for LAN with this nice little cup here and getting them ready. But I don't know. I'm going to have to push you for prediction here, Dum. Who's it going to be, and what score do you think? Is it going to be a close one, or is it going to be a roll?
I'm gonna say it will be 2-1 to Lego. I have confident that these teams, with how close this will play quite a bit more careful against each other. And we also do have confirmation that we'll be using a different server, which shouldn't be much of a surprise to anyone with these teams. Lego server, people notoriously like to complain about that. Lowpander, also known to complain about servers in general, so that just stacks up with each other perfectly.
I mean, don't talk to me about servers. That is the bane of my life. I just like to play TF2 to play TF2. But when you get teams being like, I don't want to play on that server, I don't want to play on that server, and then you get kind of arguments over where to play. And in a best of 1, there isn't kind of we'll play one map on ours, one map on yours. But these 2 teams seem to be going around it in a very amicable fashion, which is always nice to see. We just want to see the TF2. We don't want to see the drama. We are joining this server now. And again, it's still on Gullywash, so it still will be a Gullywash game. And we were talking about Sniper earlier, Dam. How much pyro do you think we're going to be seeing on this map?
Pyro, I do believe that there's a good opportunity to steal some pyro pushing out of last in this. I've seen a couple of teams start doing it to catch people by surprise in lobby and have the pyro just in their face directly with the newly buffed DPM of the class. And in lobby, you can't escape that quickly. Relatively predictable. Easy to air blast reflect rockets to splash people down as well in that area. So out of last, Pyro is really dangerous at the moment.
I mean, it is. Don't want to talk about Highlander too much in a sixes stream, but there was a noticeable difference in the stats between Pyros from one season to the next. After that Jungle Inferno update, the average DPM of Pyros went up by about 60, over the course of a season. So if a Pyro is generally only getting about 150 DPM in a Highlander game, and then suddenly is getting well over 200, obviously that is being brought into sixes as well, and we're seeing Pyros just push out and just melting opposition. We even saw Lowpander try to do a last push with a Pyro, just sending him in through water. And, obviously that air blast is very useful, but if you're able to kill a scout in a few seconds, that is also very useful as well. And Gullywash is one of those maps that is able to do that. We are changing level, changing map. Have we been baited, Dum? Is this not going to be a Gullywash game, or are we just reloading the map?
Price fact, it's actually Granary. Quite the difference, actually, in terms of how they play out.
So, just forget everything we've been talking about.
Well, outclasses are still very much capable of doing stuff. Sniper for the stamens as well. Maybe not so much outside of last. I've seen it more and more recently, but the sidelines are just not really that great outside of maybe, let's say, the forward spawn area, but people tend to avoid the sideline there very much because it's very predictable that the moment somebody will forward spawn there, you will try to snipe your medic down. And in terms of other off-classes, what has been a classic, and every once in a while it pops up again, is the Heavy into Last.
Heavy into Last is a fan favorite on this map for sure, yes. This is the pro version, which is the latest pro version, which there are some changes to those of you who've maybe not even played this version. Some missing crates on Liard just before you reach second, an extra doorway leading from second into mid. And obviously the last point is, slightly more open. The point is actually in the middle of the area. One thing I love about this point, the last point here, is if you look at the spawn, you can see the jagged lines. That indicates where the spawn begins and ends. And you get a lot of people just running through the sliding door and going to switch class quickly without realizing that's not part of the spawn anymore. And they just kill themselves. So I don't think anyone's going to do it today, but it's always funny when that does happen. When someone runs in.
Especially with how easily avoidable it is in your settings as well. But yeah, I think this is a decent compromise to how this map used to be, with the huge way from where you used to spawn, which I just now realized you can actually still access this old spawn part on this version. I never realized that, because why would you go back when you're already on last? But yeah, you can actually still go there. It just, what's the point? And it used to be so much longer of a walk. Before these spawn lines were added, it was so easy to just stand in a door and snipe or play heavy and just be really effective on that off class. And then the moment it gets dangerous, just switch off immediately. Now it's a little bit tougher. You have to actually walk a bit. It takes some time, but still not nearly as much time as it used to be in the original version of Granary. So I think that's a decent compromise.
For sure, yeah, definitely. And I think we saw Lowpander with some backcap shenanigans on Gullywash. I think this is another map where there's plenty of hiding spots. And because of the position of that last point now, it's very, very difficult for respawners to defend it. And, there is that possibility. So you do really need to check every nook and cranny, every corner, make sure that there's nobody behind you, no hiders. They can go for your med, or they can just go for the point behind you and really spread you out. So we'll see how these teams deal with it. I'm not sure what to predict here between these two teams. Granny is just kind of opens up a whole new can of worms for me. I know Lowpander of old had some very good games on Granary on previous versions. I remember there was a sort of a playoff game previously in Prem, sort of maybe season 27, I want to say, 28, where they were playing against 7. I think they were 1-0 up, and they were just kind of holding in yard for a long time. And they just really played it really slowly and methodical. Obviously, this is a different team, different medic, different scout, a team that's not practiced as much, not playing in Prem at the moment. But I do think that if they decide to start playing that kind of slow style, that might frustrate Lego, and that might play into the hands of Lowpander.
Yeah, for sure. Lowpander is prone to do stuff that just gets into people's heads. Of seasons of old, just Mookie Heavy to mid comes to mind, which found decent success every once in a while, and definitely frustrated people a lot.
I mean, there is that, there is that tilt factor. If you do get sort of annoyed by your opponents, and I think Seven play in a very slow, punishing style that they'll play in such a position where it's really difficult to access the medic or anyone who's actually going to be a worthy pick, and then they just capitalize on you making mistakes, and that can be quite annoying. When Lowpander, I think, obviously not as well known as Seven, but I think they have a very similar style in which they can punish you in that way and really make it annoying for you to access. And I don't know, these new doorways, more space on second, maybe that will allow for some easier sacks in from the likes of Phil and Demol. But we are live now. Lowpander in the blue, Cookie in now since the last time you saw Lowpander earlier on in the stream. And we do have Lego, second game in a row, same lineup, and they are going to be in the red. And who do you see reaching mid first?
Both of them was pretty much at the same time, both taking top approach, Scouts following right after, so very similar start. Lowpander's combo coming from Garage, where Lego comes from Choke. Both teams each other head on. Hildreth takes so much damage. Soldier Spam takes him down in the end. Rookie touchdown. Here's the epicness on everybody. Is so weak on Lowpander. Blank comes in from Garage. Destroys the medic. Cookie left alive. Wins the fight against Demol, but there's too many people left alive from Lego to deal with everybody.
Yeah, that is a wipe and a late respawn for Cookie. Not going to be too much of a difference, but wow, just the aggression coming in from Lego. Again, really similar to what we saw on Process, and they just transferred this over onto Granary and just got right into the faces, getting ready to push last here with a huge ad. Mr. Epic on the sniper, Cookie on the heavy. They're just trying to maybe get a pick and solidify this defense. Champagne nowhere near Haruba, only at 30%, holding on the pipe with her Putis, and some nice spam here from the soldiers, just trying to deny any sort of push up top. Phil and Dome taking a lot of damage. It's going to slow them down, so this all plays into the hands of Lowpander if they can get their Uber up. But no, the Uber comes in, double scouts up top, and that heavy's just going to get focused.
But Hilda finds the double pick right away, which stunts a lot of potential of this. Still, Lego's committed to this. Scouts are MP, but they're the only ones that are, and they get taken down very quickly. Dr. Flick comes in with a late jump, but he wants the medic, and he eventually finds the rocket from mid-air after getting his down. So, not what Lego wanted, but they salvaged it quite decently.
Yeah, that last rocket just managing to take down the medic. So Condom going to be building, not going to be a huge advantage. He was alone on the escape there, but it's going to be enough to be able to hold yard here. Mookie going in for a bomb, but just meets a wall of players as Lego are just relentless in pushing forward here. And they're probably going to get second here for free. Hildreth is in the lunchbox, and he's going to get caught out here. Scout picking him off.
Yeah, then
sorry.
Well, and they get another pick with that down. Lego keeps going. David mentioned they don't care, they just want to play off the picks. Scout has been Scout on the point, forces everybody there to react from Lowpander, but they take so much damage and they don't have the numbers to be fighting that much longer.
Just look confused for a minute there because it's Sacagawea, and I thought, wait, what? But it is Zen playing Scout with an alias.
Luckily enough, they don't always change the proper picture, so you can still tell who it is after pressing tab.
Yes, that is a good way to tell. And of course, Tango Cash is Ubers on the blue team there, but Lego taking the first round after only a few minutes. So good play from them. Hildreth on the floor this time, trying to change up the mid, as it was very unsuccessful last time. Both scouts for Lego just getting on those crates, trying to take control. Big bomb in from Mookie, is so high in the air, lands on the lamp on the opposite side of the map, lands a nice rocket onto Condom. Can he land another one? He does! And then Tango Cash, aka Ubers, comes in for the cleanup kill. Domo also down. No soldiers for Lowpander though. And it's all about the
bomb
scout.
behind takes down Champagne after the soldier bombs were not as successful as they wanted to be. But Soich is perfectly positioned and then still in the fight. But it's 2 scouts versus 1 after he killed Hilda. And now it's just Soix left alone, walking behind lines.
Yeah, Lowpander cap mid here, but they've backed off to their yard because they want to deal with Sorix, who's so far behind. They don't want to get anyone caught out, they don't want anyone spawn camped. Condom has about a 10% Uber, it's nothing huge. And it does look like Lego want to try to take yard here. Lego are kind of, there is a bit of a flank going on here. It's kind of a rotation from Lego trying to meet Lowpander. They're on the opposite side of yard. And then Lowpander just going to do the old switcheroo and just kind of hold the other side. So both roamers have died. But it does look like this is going to be a bit of a stalemate as we wait for Sorix comes in now for the play, but Cookie takes him down. And it shows that he still has the DM of old.
Well, Dr. Phil overextends while having to hold the flank here. And Lowpander's combo will take care of that. 2 down now. Lowpander is starting to make some moves here. People positioned all over the place on the entryways to the second point. Hildur peeks out the corner. Scouts are there, but he has some backup as well. And the push comes in to an exchange. Happens on the point. Both of the teams just trying to look what they can do with this. Lego goes really deep with the Uber here. Sodo Scout Uber finds 2 people. Mr. Epic waits there a bit too long around the corner. Wanted to tank up the medic after the Uber fades. But that didn't happen. And it's almost a full wipe. There's only Champagne. Has to escape all the way.
Sorix is on the chase though. Respawns get there just in time. But Sorix was committed to the cause, wanted to get that medic frag. Unfortunately just wasn't fast enough. But that was just an Uber Shade that just looked innocuous. There wasn't really much going on. And then suddenly Lego just blobbed up. 2 scouts in the demo just flooding in. And Lowpander just seemed a bit overwhelmed there. They just didn't have the people to deal with that amount of pressure. And this is what we've seen from Lego in the previous game as well. They just group up and not during the Ubers. During the Ubers, not much is going on. But once there is no Ubers in play from either team, the aggression from them just seems to be too hard to handle. The Uber comes in here and Champagne is gonna get caught out there. Dean will landing the rockets. Can he take down Hildreth as well? He can. And there's 2 huge picks here from Lego. They have not lost any players either. They're going to get second pretty much for free here. And they could just walk into last dump.
There comes a soldier from behind him and he gets spotted immediately. And this is a huge opening. Horn's not up for a long time. Champagne will do the first. But how much is that worth if he can't heal anybody in time? And Lego push comes in and the last 2 people left alive. Take it down immediately. And this is another round.
Just getting caught out there. I think, you know, the Uber calculations, Lowpander knew that they were close to it, but they didn't quite have it in time. And maybe they weren't expecting Lego to push on the dot and be that aggressive. They were just totally caught out there. Maybe needed to just hold a bit more passive inside their second. But third mid-fight here, only 6 minutes gone. And Hildreth this time going in through the left side. Domo mirroring him. They're just trading stickies across the point. Lowpander was successful in the previous mid-fight. See what they do this time. Phil getting aggressive towards the garage. Mookie going for another really high bomb. Doesn't manage to get close to the medic though and gets cleaned up. Cookie though getting aggressive. Takes down Domo. No demo for Lego. Ubers is trying to pressure out. A couple of kills for Cookie on that mid-fight. And Lowpander seem to have these mids figured out here.
Yeah, they have like the better positioning. Really what this comes down to, and they just win the fight because of that. And now Lowpander's on the chase. Condom is completely left alone. Nice first shot from Mr. Epic. Is it enough? He connects with his spawners and it isn't. Condom gets out alive into spawn. Can heal back up with the restart. And the Ubers are still intact on both sides with that. And this will be a whole lot harder now for Lowpander.
I mean, one more pistol shot there and Condom was down. And this entire situation would be totally different. Lowpander will probably be getting around on the board. But instead we have a bit of a stalemate now. Zen is on the engineer class. And we do see Mr. Epic on the sniper class. So, you know, we're just going to see Mr. Epic try to get some space here, make a shot onto someone. He's got so far. He takes down Condom. That is the drop. He was given so much time and space. Lowpander now, huge advantage. Mr. Epic is still in, pressuring them. Domo gets, sorry, not Domo, Demon gets taken down. Sakajuia, aka Zen, is taken down by Mr. Epic as well. He's finally going to get taken down by Sorix. Surely hit pressured. It's 3v3. Heals in the hand of both teams, but Sorix is going to get a cleanup, and I don't know how Lowpander didn't convert that round.
I think we saw a similar thing on Gullywash in the other game we saw before, where they just take really long with these mask pushes, and Lego just stay alive, even with just a few players, keep up the fight. Eventually they could connect with Condom. They want to make some moves with him. It's second now, but Lowpander is not going to let them get away with it that easily. Condom goes weak as well, so they have to be careful now.
Yeah, Mr. Epic there dies there on the scout, and there's so many players who are weak on Lowpander here. Just the aggression during these these non-Uber situations is just too much for Lowpander to handle right now. I'm just wondering if Mr. Epic is going to respawn on Sniper. Decides against it. He's going to stick on the scout. There is pretty much equal Uber. Sorex just chasing. He's just relentless with this pushing. Champagne at 95. She's going to get Uber just in time, but it is going to mean Condom and Co are going to capture this midpoint. Lego in control of the game and in control of the map at the moment. And Lowpander, their morale is probably going to be dipping a little bit after that failed push, but they need to start, you know, opening that brain and thinking of some different ways to break this Lego aggression, because at the moment Lego just holding that W. Get a nice pipe from Hildred. That's going to be enough.
Yeah, and you really needed to hit that as well, because they gave Dr. Phil such a big opening to just get in for free. Scout denied him very little as counter jump comes out by Uber with mild contestation from the rest of the team. Wookie actually wins a fight on garage entry, and with these picks, Lowpander just decides to pop in right into the combo of Lego with 2 picks in their favor. Lowpander can easily insert some positioning here. Cookie overextends a little bit though. This might turn things around once the spawners come in, as Lowpander plays are pretty weak.
This is where Lego are going to start walking forward. Both soldiers are in. Rookie is trying to fight them. Takes down one. Can he take down the other one? He does. He takes down both Phil and Demel. Sorex comes in and takes a rocket to the face and decides against it. And I was just going to say, that's the moment where Lego just pound. They just walk in when no team has Uber. And this time it didn't work. No soldier is going to be really hard to defend this second point as Lowpander take the entirety of their team in. Domo doing his best, and it does get a frag there. Sticky Trap takes down Wiki. Mr. Epic is in behind, just fighting Mr. Dr. Phil. Sorry, Mr. versus Doctor there. And the Lowpander lose 2 and decide that it's probably not the best time to be pushing into second.
Yeah, the plays were optimistic, but Lego dealt with them pretty quickly. Ubers wins a fight on the tank. Lowpander's soldiers are doing pretty well so far, I must say. But eventually he will be cleaned up as he can't leave that fast, while Lego's already on the move forward into mid, and they decide to go with the choke side entry, and they do some damage on the point. Campaign force use Condom moves into this as well with this out Uber, and the exchange Ubers are fading. Lowpander's combo forced into choke side as Ubers jumps in on weak players on Lego, and they take so much damage. He picks up Condom, but Lowpander doesn't have much steam left in them, and they eventually get cleaned up one by one with the epic wins fight. Domo really weak, gets an arrow from Champagne, and he stays alive. Do they want to keep fighting this though? They have Scout on heals against weak players, but it's 3 of them at the same time, and eventually Lego turns it. Oh, today!
Nice frag there. Yeah, nice frag from Champagne. Takes down Domo. Mr. Epic was just really wanted to go in there. Did take down I think it was Demel. And yeah, just Lowpander here deciding that they're going to stay in on these fights and they're going to just really take it to Lego. They do have an advantage here, so if they can convert this round, then it's going to get them right back into this game. 85 now for Champagne. Condom only at 60%. Domo very, very weak. Has to get an arrow back on last. And interesting to see no off classes from Lego. Demel is very weak on last as well, so if Lowpander push in now, they're going to have a lot of ground. A lot of space, but Condom's going to get his Uber any second now. They've taken a little bit too long. Domo is getting flooded here. Has to have the Uber taken onto him. He does take down Hildreth as well, so this is not going well for the Pandas. The Scouts are going to escort Champagne out. Uber goes down late on in the fight, and this is probably a chance for Lego to start chasing.
Yeah, Hildreth was just a bit too much disconnected from the rest of his team. Couldn't get flash time, gets taken down with the Uber, and that just immediately forced him to back out. Uber still guys in the midst of that. They're holding this really passively while Lego is trying to make some moves. Still, they put up a little bit of a fight, but with the Epic has give his life for it. Cookie tries as well, but so far all the frags are going towards Lego as both Mookie and Hilda do go down. And as a soldier deep into mid-demon, but he's way too weak alone. Just left alone there completely, and his team comes in eventually to still capitalize off of the momentum they have, but it's not looking that great anymore. Still, they will take mid for sure, and it's an even situation, so it will maybe slow down, but Lowpander has none of that.
Yeah, Sorik's taking so much damage and Uber's actually forced. And Uber's with some nice rockets onto Domo, forcing him totally out of the fight. Phil gets cleaned up there by Mr. Epic, so both pockets down for each team, and the Uber is better here for Lowpander and able to get a lot of ground onto the point, but they're not getting the damage. Zen does, oh, he takes down Mr. Epic, and wow, Demol comes in with the 3k, takes down Champagne and Hildreth very late on, 15-second respawns for both of them, and Lego may be able to walk this all the way to last. They're going to get to the second point for sure and have an Uber ready for a last push here.
And so it caused a little bit of trouble at the end, still behind. And so really just all the way at the front, really, just distracting Wookie, but eventually Wookie punches back. But he's left alone at that point, gets taken down afterward with Epic on the sniper, but big advantage to Lego, so the sniper better show up big time to make the difference here.
Yeah, it's kind of a desperation time now for Lowpander. They need to get something huge, and Mr. Epic is on the sniper. We know what he is capable of. We've already seen it so far today. And a very passive old AC. Hildreth is basically on the spawn door. Uber comes in from the top, both scouts again. They're going to chase down. There's no heavy for them to deal with, so they focus Mookie instead. He goes down. Dr. Phil trying to pressure this far side. Cookie takes a lot of damage. But that is 2 now for Lowpander. Demol within the rocket. Can he land the air shot? No, he can't. With Champagne, he's going to crater. And Lego swarm the point. That's going to make it 3-0. Just under half the game to go, Dumb. Lego just seem to be more clinical with their pushes at the moment.
Yeah, Lowpander had actually a really good start to all of this as they managed to get the really early force of Condom. But Lego just made sure to focus the easy frags. Everything that was out of position died really quickly. And at that point was wide open while the entire combo was backed off far enough to just get a lot of time on the point and pressure them to get out of the passive position into a much more aggressive one where they can just easily be dealt with.
See, Mookie's basically not even in this fight. He's in his own garage. As Dr. Phil's pressured out, and he goes for a jump now. Tries to land some rockets on Champagne, but misses. Demol's in as well, but takes a lot of damage. So, not really doing much. Cookie, though, takes down Phil and Condom. And, absolutely dominating. Sorix does clean him up eventually. Zen is in on the fight. He's going to get taken out as well. Champagne with 100% in the bank already. And
also 100% our Kritzkrieg.
Yeah, I was going to say, got to 100% because it's a Kritzkrieg. So that's a wipe, and I don't know, do you think anyone on Lego would have spotted that? Because you get these festivizers now, you can have festive Kritzkrieg as well. Maybe nobody noticed, so it'd be interesting to see if they expect this. There is a sentry going up.
The Kritzkrieg is actually the biggest brain thing you can do, since if you just use the regular festive medigun as well, it's really hard to tell from a distance. Because the only big difference is these small yellow lines, and with all these lights on the medigun, it's just really hard to tell. And they want to make use of this now.
Looks like they're trying to pressure this side, and the crits does come in. There we go. Zen goes down. The heavy. No heavy. The crit scout helps take down Dr. Phil. Sentry gun is down as well, so this NG is pretty much useless until he gets back into spawn. And now we see the slow push. Mookie and Champagne are both weak, but they decide to go for the point, getting a lot of time onto the point. But Domo comes in with the pipes, takes down 3. Condom died there, 2 Hildreth, and Mookie comes in onto the point, but Sorix is there to save the day. That is a Lowpander wipe, but for a moment there, Mookie almost with the cheeky back cap as Lego tried to push out, but Hildreth with that kind of hero pipe at the end there, taking down Condom, is the only saving grace in that push.
And the crits really didn't start out well, but they tried and tried again in this push to still make it work anyways, and they did get 2 picks and a sentry gun. That's a really good start for a Granny last push, but then Domo just showed up really big, and his pipes were enough to completely turn this around. Full wipe in the end. Wookie almost sneaks away with it, but wasn't quite enough. Small advantage Condom, but nothing meaningful. They're really passive as well, so they're scared of any attempts being made on his life. But with the advantage as well, they have to worry quite a bit less about that than otherwise.
Yeah, Condom, despite spawning later, has an advantage now. Champagne is back on the medigun, they're deciding against the crits, but actually Condom scouts have been building super high. There we go, look at, oh wow, Demol caught out there, very weak, and the Uber has to be used as Phil was also very weak. And Hildreth just kind of spamming and keeping out of this fight as Ubers is going to take the most of it. Condom gets taken down, that's 3 dead for Lego. Sorix is also very weak. Can he take anybody down? No, he can't. Mr. Epic is going to clean him up. But it looks like Zen and Dr. Phil in behind are just causing havoc, and they're blocking this second point. And that stopped Lowpander from pushing into last already. And they are so weak. Domo's the only person alive. We know what he can do with that point. He's sticking it up, takes down Mr. Epic. Can he take down Ubers? He throws some pipes. Ubers is down to 10 HP. And Sorix is there to buddy up and defend that last point. But again, Lowpander just kind of getting distracted and not being able to push last there.
Yeah, that was really smart from both sides. For one, just cutting off Connor's exit completely with the Uber, as we have Wookie hiding in the corner. Wants to go for the jump, gets a lot of damage to Connor, cleans him up as well. Speaking of smart plays, that was certainly one, as hiding in that corner is pretty common, but if you're high up in the air, nobody will check for that, and he gets away with it.
Domo though with a frag onto a Cookie, and then there we go. Demo does exactly the same as Mookie. Nice bomb, takes down Champagne, but the post bomb fight, I should say, going in the favor of Lowpander. Domo is extremely weak, and he is going to get finished off by Mookie. And with 2 players alive, Lowpander should be able to capture this second point. Condom though just building with Zen, trying to make sure that he has an Uber ready for this last point. Domo isn't alive, and you know, with 10 minutes to go, if Lowpander want to get something out of this game, they're not going to start taking risks. They start pushing in when normally they wouldn't push in. And they're deciding to just wait here. They don't want to do anything without the Uber. And they're going to need to make this push successful, I feel, dumb. Otherwise, Lego can just slow things down and really make it difficult for them to get back into the game.
Yeah, Lego notoriously not too happy with doing that, but ironically enough, they're really good at it as well, as proven in the past. So they definitely can do it if they just feel like it at a given day, so it really comes down to that. Lowpander on the other hand beats stuff desperately, and Ubers just throws rockets through the shutter door, but Domo doesn't have his stickies. The jump in by Mookie eventually gets shot down by the scout, wants to spam him some more, can't really get much out of it. So Lowpander's first play of the stalemate successfully defended, and now the question, will Lego return with anything, or really slow things down and just let Lowpander try again?
Yeah, but Mookie respawning on the spy, so we know what this man's capable of, we know what he can do with these other classes, and he's deciding a spy play. We've seen Mr. Epic go huge on last, but oh no! Mookie takes a rocket to the face as he's trying to peek that. I'm not sure if Dr. Phil spotted it or not.
At the same time though, Devo was spy as well, and maybe he checked for it, because spy has this nice little feature where you can just disguise this as class, and if you have any cosmetics at all, you know that there's that class around. And Uber fight comes in while the spy is on the field, so this could end in a backup play. But he gets spotted while all of this is happening. Both Ubers just really passive. One player died on Lowpander during the exchange, and then they left immediately.
Sorix were taken down by a sticky trap though, so Hildreth, decent placement, and he's actually keeping Domo out as well, but no, he's going to get taken down. Zen just barreling into him.
But the scouts, they broke over the left shutter, win a fight there, but eventually they get chased down. Still, they forced everybody back to just block the point barely in time to save this round again. And this will slow down Lego quite a bit. Still, 3 down on Lowpander. They still might contest this, but how much can they do here?
Yeah, I mean, I think they should be able to defend this. They need to defend this right now. It is a small disadvantage here. And we hear a banner. Who's it coming out of? It's actually coming out of Lego as Phil is on the battalion. So they're going to be taking less damage while they try to capture the point. And they also have an Uber ready as well if they decide to use it, which they do. They're straight up to Champagne. She dodges the first rocket, dodges the second. Phil is just right on her, takes her down. Hildreth also got taken down there by Domo. 2 players left alive. Mookie goes in, launches the soldier into the air. He's going to get cleaned up, and Lego should be able to push out here. That was pretty decisive, and I mean, we have to bite our tongues there, Dom, because Lego using a banner, unlike what we predicted.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised as well. And comparatively, what we've seen between Lego and Rakuzan from the earlier game, you can just see that Lego is just making sure that the flank gets nothing, while the push itself gets as much as possible, and Mookie and the like on the flank of Lowpander just really couldn't get much done here during the push.
Ubers is going to get caught out there, and That's the thing. People need to go for these big plays right now. They need to kind of get these forces, get these med picks. But in turn, if you lose a player, it's going to make it all the more easier for LEGO to push forward. And looks like they may have to give up second here. Condom has 100%. Champagne only at 65 and is really far back. But Phil gets taken down. Hildreth with a pick, so that's going to give them a little bit of breathing room and buy them a little bit of time to get some sort of setup on last. They're not off-classing. Mr. Epic going back into the spawn, actually going onto the sniper, trying to take matters into his own hands. Steamwall gets taken down. Romus just trading desperately here. Lowpander have held onto it and they actually have an Uber done.
Yeah, the Lego Uber really didn't get too much really optimistic early use due to the Mookie force, and with that, Lowpander just hand pushed in 2 seconds as well, but they really don't get much. Zorix is the only one dying, and they're still 3 down. Lego on tapping the second one, don't want to lose it. Dr. Phil goes a bit too deep there, trying to chase down a single frag, gets taken down in return, so that gets them not much, but still, after all is said and done, with Lowpander's Uber not really getting much out of the last push. Lego again in the advantage, but Lowpander don't want to let it come to an Uber situation. They are really aggressive already.
Yeah, they want to finish this off now. They want to look at the soldiers, sorry there. Uber's 9 HP, very, very weak. And Demo is in on Champagne. Manages to slam one rocket, can get another one, he can! Takes down both Ubers and Champagne. Hildreth gets cleaned up as well by Dr. Phil, who also takes down Mr. Epic. And Lowpander here, that Uber really being successful with him one up in his Mookie. He's going to get cleaned up. That's a wipe. And now he's going to be 4-0 for Dr. Phil and company. 4 minutes 30 basically means it's curtains for Lowpander. They aren't going to be able to get anything out of this game, not even a draw.
Don't draw an end to this game too fast. We've seen stuff like this happen before. So.
Well, okay, yeah. I mean, there was that match.
Especially with Lowpander Lowpander have been pretty strong on these bits so far, and if they just get a little bit more, they can get going for some really quick rounds as well.
That is true. That is true. And we've seen some extremely fast rounds, and Domo there, though, taking down Hildreth for the first frag of this week. My big jump from Demo lands one rock onto Champagne. Dr. Phil follows up with the second. It's just the scouts alive for Lowpander, but we know that these guys can clean up. Domo with some nice pipes, though. Wow. Takes down both scouts. 6 HP. Don't need any more HP than that if you can land every single fight. And it's going to be difficult for Lowpander here to maybe try to pressure. They've got no heals for a while, and Domo already landing some sticky traps in yard, and Zorix is on the prowl.
Both teams had similar ideas on the mid fight. They're just going really aggressive, and Lowpander really had to. They don't have time for anything, and at this point I don't think they have time to win this game in general, but on that mid fight they just needed to be aggressive and fast, and Lego just responds with the same thing and not enough to protect medic, but it worked in the end for Lego.
Big pressure from Mookie here. Actually does take down Condom. So that was a kill onto the medic, and Condom was running crit streak there, so you know, wanted to get some different kind of pressure out of Lego, but in the end they win the fight regardless. I mean, you lose your medic and you kill 3-4 people, it doesn't really matter. Lego already in on last. Lowpander only have 3 players alive. Domo on the point, he has so much time on there. He'll just has to physically stand on it, but he's only got 12 HP. Domo with his trademark pipes again. Wiki pressures him to his death, and Lowpander may be able to hold this, but they need to be careful of some sort of back habit. Deemwall going for the jump, but decides, nope, not going to get anything done there, but there we go. Ubers with the 2k, takes down Condom, and no heals for Lego, so maybe Lowpander can get a round or 2 on the board here if they start rolling this on to the next point.
Lego was really close to making a statement and just saying, you may be a Div 1 team, but we are still better than that, but don't quite manage to win this by scoreline. At least not just yet. They still have 2 minutes, but it's also 2 minutes that Lowpander can make this look a little bit more respectable on the scoreline.
Absolutely. I mean, it's at that point where you think you're winning 4-0, but you need to have that respect for what the enemy team is capable of. But Lowpander lose 3 here, and they do have an Uber advantage, but again, it doesn't matter if you haven't got the play state, but Domo's getting pressured. Hildreth takes down Demo, and the rest of the players just fall by the wayside, with his only Mookie alive. And I think in Lego's mind, they're seeing if they can make this a clean 5-0 sweep, which would really send a message out to the other players in this tournament, the other teams, of what Lego are capable of. They're here to play, they're here to frag. And they got ×5 on this second point. They're going to get it without much trouble whatsoever. Condom back on to Uber this time, so he has 90%. They got a ready charge for last here, They're going to have an Uber, and this is one push to make it 5-0, or it's going to be 4-0.
Yeah, pretty much, and the advantage is heavily in their favor, 80%. They don't even need to flash the champagne immediately. Assuming they come in quickly, but they take a little bit of time to eventually come in. Mookie wants to get the pulse, doesn't really find any damage, just behind, probably threatening the backstep if he can. Uber gets popped into last, but they struggle to find many people as Lowpander just scattered all over the place. Point technically was open, Stick still on it, nobody on Lego wants to deal with that. Cracks are being traded equally on both sides. No demo for either team now, as Hilde just goes down to the scout, and hey, walk over Mookie as well. And now just Cookie on heals against 2.
2 scouts versus 1 scout. Can Cookie do it? We've seen some clutch plays from him in the past. Champagne goes down. Cookie's still alive though. He's still buying time, but no, not enough. Now it's going to be 5-0 to Lego on Granary here against Lowpander. 20 seconds left on the clock. So did it within regulation time, and I don't think either of us expected a scoreline of that magnitude.
Definitely not. I thought this would be a really close, slower paced game than we had so far, but it was maybe not the fastest game we had today, but still reasonably fast, and Lego really dominating.
Absolutely. Just as we get a notification in game of someone receiving a golden frying pan, so someone's made a couple of $1,000 easy. But yeah, Lego looking for a different kind of money, because this puts them in a really strong position for the playoffs. Obviously, this is the Swiss system. This is a group stage. So the more wins you get during the group stage, the higher your seeding for the playoffs, the better chance you have of reaching the latter stages and getting in with a chance of some of that prize money. And like I said earlier, I think this really does send a message to the other teams. We've looked at Lowpander, we've looked at some other teams, and so far Lego have beaten some strong contenders. I mean, they beat FN, which contains a lot of the sort of the Nunya group of players who are obviously Prem players. Comfortable victory against them, and a 5-0 hit against against Lowpander. Other teams are going to be start thinking, okay, hang on a minute, Lego mean business.
Yeah, for sure. We have said before, Seven and Ascent look like the strongest contenders. Lego has something different in their minds about that, I think.
Definitely. I mean, these guys coming for LAN, this is probably good practice for them. I'm not sure how much they're practicing outside of this, but this is definitely a platform for them to try against the best. When you've got Seven, you've got Ascent, you've got all of the top teams participating from EU, really trying to get into that prize money, and Lego seeing what they can do before LAN.
Yeah, and let's take a look at the logs. And I immediately sort by frags to see who did the best. And then is going insane. 37 in 12. Who cares if it's a soldier map when you're the best class in the game?
I mean, some people call it overpowered. Some people say it's perfectly normal, which usually they're scout mains. But yeah, I mean, Sorix with 12 less kills than Zen there. Zen obviously playing the pocket scout rule and just taking those Ubers to great effect. And I think when the Ubers were going on, he managed to force the medic and managed to get into a position that when the Ubers were over, he was there to clean up. I mean, he got 300 damage per minute. That's pretty crazy for a scout on Granary. But, the 4.9 KD, look at the assists. The dude went absolutely insane. And that's just because Lego just have this trademark aggression. Once the Ubers are over and no team has a charge, they just go straight into you with the damage. And Zen was there to clean up. But Sorix getting less kills. But I think him going behind just caused havoc for Lowpander. And I think that was one of the things they struggled to deal with. When there's a scout, picking you off one by one from behind, you really have to make a decision. Do we go back as a team and deal with him, or do we focus forward? And I think that was one of the problems during this game for them.
Yeah, definitely. And if we look at the other performances, Mookie, who had a good start to this day, not quite living up to that expectation in this game anymore, unfortunately for his team. On a soldier-friendly map as this, it's always a little sad to see, unfortunately. Other than that, we had, like I mentioned, Lowpander had some really good bits. They won 3 of the 5 we had, and they just couldn't keep that momentum from the mid-fights together at all.
Yeah, you can see that on the rounds there. Lowpander winning 3 out of the 5 mids. So it shows that they had some strategies. They lost the first one quite overwhelmingly and lost the round off the back of that. And then they adapted and they switched things up, but it was just the kind of the transition play in between the points, in between the Ubers, that Lego just seemed to have it really down pat and really worked it out well. And I think when you've got players that like to be aggressive, you've got a demo, again, Domo there, dying only 11 times. Only person who died less was his medic. When you've got a demo that stays alive like that and he's constantly putting out damage, you've got two soldiers who like to play aggressive, don't need the heals, and then you've got two scouts that are just insanely good at the cleanup. It's a recipe for success, and it definitely proved that today. Lowpander probably licking their wounds and trying to work out what went wrong. I can imagine they're going to be back with a vengeance in the next round, and I'm sure we'll see them in the playoffs, but maybe something for them to think about, and maybe a map for them to avoid if they do happen to play against Lego in the playoffs.
Yeah, we've seen them being strong on Galley. I know it's a significantly different story, sure, against a better team, but this is still such a big difference. So
There's quite some interesting air shots there. We got 17 from Ubers and 14 from Demol, but I think that's due to a glitch on the mid point.
On the last point, the pipes.
The pipes on last, okay.
Apparently the game thinks you're in the air even though you're standing on a pipe. And it just counts as an air shot anyway.
I mean, to get an air shot every 2 minutes, it's a dream. Maybe as the years go on and everyone gets so amazingly good at TF2, it will just be, sniper headshots and soldiers air shotting everything and just, air pipes galore. But for now, maybe not.
Just frame perfect gameplay everywhere, 20xx of TF2.
It could be, yeah. It could be. That's the dream. That's the dream. Trying to take a look at the other results. If I can find the right page. Latest results from the games today. So we've got Red Pandas there coming back after a default against Lowpander. They beat Sora 5-0. The Bugs beat Poundland 5-1. Quality Control winning 5-0 against Conyatech. Failure Esports, another close game for them. 1-2-1 in their last game, but they lost this one against Just a Mix. 2-1. Not Dead Doggo finally getting a win on the board. 5-0 against Chumtoad. Video Game Gamer, guys. That's Dum's team of choice. They won 4-2 against Down to Frag. Gucci Gang, 5-1 winners against Cafe. Ascent coming up against 21-inch Eggs. That was a team I took a look at. Thought they would do okay. 4-1 Ascent coming out winners there. My son's basketball team, after losing their first game against Lowpander, got their second win on the bounce. Now they came up against FN, who lost to Lego. So 2 defeats for FN now as they lost 5-3 there against the Rakuzan team. 7 have won their third 5-0 game in a row now against Neon and the Finns. And of course, we just saw Lego 5-0 Lowpander on the casted game. Just taking a look at the table now, we've got 3 teams with 3 wins and 0 losses. That is 7, Ascent, and Lego. Lowpander, 21-inch Eggs, Video Game Gamer Guys, Just a Mix, Bugs EU, Red Panda, my son's basketball team with the Finns. There's a lot of teams with 2 wins so far. So there's still plenty to be playing for here, Dom. There's still a lot of positions to be decided. I mean, those top 3 teams, probably by now confident that they'll get through to the playoffs. But everyone below that, they're all going to be fighting each other for those last 3 spots.
Ooh, but I have what? The next matchup will be a really good one. 7 versus Ascent. So that should be exciting. The top 2, well, top 3 technically, as Lego is tied with them with 3 wins. But now we have a head-to-head matchup between 2 of these teams.
Yeah, the next game that is going to be on